any questions during the lecture, you go ahead and ask. And after the lecture, we have our magnetic healing. We'll explain after the finish. I'm going to invite you guys now just to start a small prayer here. I ask you guys to elevate your thoughts, your mind. Concentrate here on the now. Ask the mentors of this center to be with us tonight. And to start, we're very thankful for the opportunity here. Very thankful for what we got here to make our choices, pushing us more to the light, getting ourselves distance from the shadows and choices that are going to bring us suffering and pain. We are thankful for the center, thankful for the opportunities that present to us, so we can use the teachings here past in our daily lives. We ask for those that couldn't be here with us tonight, that they can receive this energy, the good vibrations that are coming over us tonight. So in the name of the creation of the universe, in the name of our Master, in the name of the mentors of this center, we ask permission to start the workshop for tonight. So be it.
So be it.
So I invite you on out of here. Good luck.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So I have a friend, Stephen, that it's always inspiration to me to give me topics to talk about it. I've been doing this for a little while, so sometimes I question myself, oh my God, what should I talk about it? And he has this thing that he gives me the most creative topics, like New Year's revolution. No, it's not resolution, it's revolution. So okay, let's talk about that. So the first thing we're gonna mention tonight is what is a revolution, right? It's a forcible overthrow of a government or a social order in favor of a new system. So if we actually wanted to create a revolution for us, the first thing we need to do is start to see a new system, maybe a new way of life. And we have a pretty good idea of what is the system today for life satisfaction. What do most people think that it works for them? So what you see most of the time is that if you have friends, relationships, parties to go, money, drugs, including alcohol, vacation, if you have a good job, and competition, this is the system for a successful life today, right? So for most people, you might not look for a party, you might not look for a good job, but definitely you may think that, okay, I gotta have a good job, or I gotta go on vacation, or friends is the most wonderful thing, or I need a relationship in order for me to be complete. So all these things today, who taught us that?
Society.
Huh?
Society.
Society, okay. Society tell us that for us to be happy, we will need this. The problem with that is that some people do have that, and they still not living the life that they wish to fulfill. So what happens? What system? Why do we believe in this type of thing? So let's take alcohol for an example. How many beer commercials do you see on TV that it doesn't show really happy people with the beer on their hands? Have you ever seen someone that is talking about, that is doing an advertise with beer that somebody's drinking alone? Definitely not, right? So we see a lot of the things that we see that actually hold us to this belief in here that as long as we achieve some of that, we live a happy life. The problem with that is that when we believe that this is the reason why we are here, okay, we're going to live our life towards that, right? So I am going to do things because I wanted to live whatever they're telling me that this is going to make me happy. And TV, marketing, commercial is a huge part of this. How many commercial on TV that you see a real estate person that it's not there with the happy family in front of the house. And they're laughing, you know? And on your unconscious minds, you look at this and say, oh, that's what I want. That's all I need. Maybe if I get a bigger house, this is going to make me happy. This is going to fulfill my life. Yeah, that's all I need. But the problem is that doesn't happen consciously. That's your unconscious mind working towards you. How are you going to react to the commercial? It's like this. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to do this. I'm going to save money. I'm going to do this. I'm going to worry about my future because I need that house in order to be happy. So you might not think that you need the house to be happy, but inside of you, this is the imaging that they're giving to you. And this is what we are buying as a society. Okay? So how to convince myself that life is a spiritual journey? It's going to be difficult because everything that we see on TV, everything that we usually talk about it has nothing to do with spiritual. It's more like an everyday thing that we do. But the problem is that, and I'm not talking about if you believe in a spiritual journey. It's completely different. You have to be convinced that this is your life path. You have to convince yourself. And in order to do that, you're going to need maybe some help, maybe some tools that it's out there, because nothing that you usually do, it will take you there. So you're absolutely sure that you are here for a reason, and you belong for something, of something that is so much bigger than you. And I'm sure that if I ask you that question, all of you that are here tonight will agree with me. But if you look at it into how you live your life, you might catch in yourself over here, looking for this. Right? So how are we going to convince ourselves, that we need a new system? We need a revolution. We need to start living our lives in a way that it's really, really, really going to take us to this wonderful journey that we came here to do it. Distractions that will take us here, we have plenty. So we gotta search for, we gotta have curiosity. What is that you do most of the time of your day, besides work? When you get home, what is the habits that you do? Do you watch TV? For how long? Do you read a book to educate yourself, to actually make you think? Not necessarily to teach you anything, but to make you reflect upon some things that are really important in this spiritual journey? Or you take home and you know, how important is Instagram in your life? Or Facebook, YouTube, watching, you know, things that really are relating to this. Okay? I see people searching and looking for the most successful videos in YouTube, for an example, are tutorials on how to be successful in life, how to have a wonderful job, best place to vacation. Those are the most views, because most of the people are still unconsciously and looking for this. Okay, so if you have curiosity, you're gonna go look for some answers, because it's not going to be easy for you to switch a belief system that easily. It could be just, okay, from now on I'm going to live a spiritual journey. Okay, you can say that. Wonderful. But what is that you're going to do? So the first thing that we need to talk about it is volunteer. Okay. There is studies that show the importance of volunteer work. You will see Alfred Adler, one of the biggest psychiatrists, that was the first one that he actually went against Freud and told him, no, this is not what I think it's right. It's not all about your sexual force. There is something else. And he talks about the complex of superiority and inferiority. And he's going to say that he's going to talk about the community. And he's going to say that every single person should be serving their community, because we are born to do this. We are born to help each other. So volunteer is one of the things that will put you on that journey. Giving to others can also help protect your mental and physical health. This is not me, this is science-based. Okay? It can reduce stress, combat depression, keep you mentally stimulated, and provide a sense of purpose. Now, who doesn't want that? Now, how many commercials you're going to see on TV inviting you? Hey, give something to the world. Right? But I ask you that tonight or maybe tomorrow, when you get home, use Google. And don't believe what I say. Do a research on volunteer and the benefits of volunteer. and convince yourself that this is what you need to do. Because we all have a sense, we all need a sense of purpose. And it's even good for your health. And that will also increase your social and relationship skills. It's not easy. You don't come to volunteer, for an example, here at the center and expect not to have any problems and expect that you will come here and then you will just going to have wonderful friends, which you will also, but you're also going to have to deal with people that maybe have a different idea than yours. And by volunteering, you start to accept others the way they are. It's a plus when it comes to social skills. And it's also a good spiritual way. Another thing, this is a new research on kindness. Do you guys have any idea of how many research it's already been done relating to kindness? A bunch of it. A bunch of research. Because some people are actually looking for answers. The present experiment was designed to establish the effects of acts of kindness on life satisfaction. So participants age of 18 to 60 took part on a voluntary basis. They were randomly assigned to perform acts, I don't know what that is, of kindness on a daily basis for 10 days. So they took people from 18 to 60 years old, and they made them do kind things to others. Their life's satisfaction was measured before and after the 10-day experiment. As expected, performing acts of kindness result in an increase in life satisfaction. Are we kind? How many actions of kindness do we actually do, let's say, in 24 hours? Let's say in a day, 15, 14 hours a day. How kind are we in traffic?
Not existing.
How kind are we at our jobs? You know, how kind are we with strangers? You know, and what is kindness? It's listen, kindness, not judging, smiling. So if you do that, kindness, you will increase your life satisfaction. But you will not see this on a TV commercial, because there is no money involved in that, right? So the way marketing works is they work with the wish or whatever people are looking for, and they just increase that in order for you to buy their product. This, it's a very important ingredient, but what can we do if we don't know this? We have to start to look for different answers. We have so many books out there that will give you a different view. But you gotta have that, you know, the feeling of, yes, I want to know. Yes, I want to change. Yes, I really want to know what works. If you don't have that, you're on automatic pilot. And you're just going to do your things over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Okay? So I invite you to also look for this. Okay? Of course, I only brought one paragraph of the whole entire research. And there is much more that you guys can do it and can look for it. Self-forgiveness. So many studies in self-forgiveness. And forgiveness too. But if you don't learn how to forgive yourself, you're barely going to be able to forgive anybody else. So start with yourself. How do you deal with the mistakes that you make in life? So this research was pretty awesome. And what they did is they measure how people how they react when they make a mistake. So the way that they do this, one of the questions that they ask on the research, it's about rumination. After you've done something wrong, how long that stays in your mind? A day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. And you're going to see that we are a little bit different. We react differently when we make mistakes. Some people will find excuse. So it's so hard for them to see that they made a mistake, that they start to blame others of their mistakes. And every time that the thought came to their minds about whatever it is that they think that they did wrong, they come up with an excuse and say, no, but this isn't that way. So they don't deal with the pain that it's causing them. They make excuses. Now, who is judging you? What is the standards that you're using to judge yourself? It's what we call moral social. It's what we think is acceptable or not. But this is completely different for every single one of us. For some people, it may be okay to kill an animal. And for some other people, that's extremely not acceptable. So you have this belief system that, believe it or not, that started to develop when you were very, very young, 3 years old. It's funny, right? But the 3-year-old already know, according to their family and the environment that they have, what is morally acceptable or not. And as you can see, some people accept a lot of things that others wouldn't accept it. So you use that to judge yourself. This is what is judging you all day. And if you don't learn how to forgive yourself, that is devastating to you and affect your life in so many different ways that we can be here just talking about this the whole night. This is how important self-forgiveness it really, really is. So they did one of the studies that I was reading about it. did this measurement, and what they did is they came up with a treatment, and that treatment was based on self-esteem. And they realized that if you don't forgive yourself, how can you improve your skills of self-forgiveness? Now let me ask you this. How are you improving your self-forgiveness skills? Because you can learn how to do that. If you want, of course. There's things that you can do. But if you're not paying attention to this, and you don't realize how important that is, you're not going to do anything about it. Because when you don't use self-forgiveness, you're going to punish yourself. And what is that you're doing to punish yourself? It could be sabotage. You can be sabotage. It could be sabotage. It could be so many things. Okay? So what they did is they came up with this treatment, and the response was absolutely awesome. They did a reorientation to teach people how to deal with the mistakes. And the first thing you have to do, believe it or not, is accept that what you did was, according to your system, it was not the best option. This is only the first steps. And then there is something called the fake self-forgiveness. Is when you really truly believe that you forgave yourself, but you never did. So there was also that. So there is so many interesting things besides TV and Instagram and Facebook that we could be looking for it. Think how many classes and books are out there just to teach you how to do this. But it's only going to help us if we become interested in this. So overall findings support a conceptualization of self-forgiveness according to the process of value reorientation and esteem restoration. Distinguishes self-forgiveness from others' response to wrongdoing, and review the unique impacts of value reorientation and esteem restoration on function. If you don't have that, it actually takes your ability to function in life. And then you have everybody thinking and selling you the idea, no, you just need a new house. No, you just need a new job. No, you just need to go on vacation. No, you just need to do that. No. You just need to learn how to forgive yourself. Let's start with that. You need to learn how to be kind. You need to learn to volunteer. Second, base and apply. This is the same study on self-forgiveness. Basic and applied studies of self-forgiveness has you promising and perplexing finding. Self-forgiveness has been associated with psychological well-being as well as self-rated physical health. Furthermore, failing to forgive oneself affects not only perspectives, relationship satisfaction, but also victims' relationship satisfaction, and in context of romantic deities. So your romantic life, your romantic relationship has everything to do with self-forgiveness. Okay. Another thing that we should be looking for, near-death experience. We all know that. Why is it important to follow those studies, to pay attention, to develop something that you curious about those? Because those are the things that are going to give you the tools that you needed to go on that spiritual path. Okay? So Dr. Bruce Grayson began his research into near-death experience here at, I just copied this, the University of Virginia in the mid of 1970s. Dr. Grace has carried out surveys of the experience among hospital population and has studied the futures and after effects of near-death experience among a sample of more than 1,000 experiences. So he studied more than 1,000 cases of near-death experience. But you know, why is this important to us? Because this is a proof that we are here in a spiritual journey. It was 1,000 cases that he studied. And we have to convince ourselves, okay, this guy did this, study 1,000 cases. What if it's true? What if I'm really here on a spiritual path? And if I can convince myself of that, then I will go on that path. He has documented the profound and long-lasting effect on near-death experience on the individual attitude. People that went through this, most of the people changed their lives. Now we here tonight, that we are considered to be spiritual people, right? We're here tonight, we believe it. Do we have to go through this to make a changing? To transform our lifestyle? Not really. Most of the people had no idea. And then they come back and they change. Things that bother them don't bother anymore. Stupid things. Things made so much more sense to them. All right? On individual's attitude, beliefs, value, and personality. And his research has shown why this experience cannot be dismissed as dream states or hallucination. And he dedicated his whole life to convince us that, hey, you're not going to see this using the tools that you're using today. You're not. You're not going to see any commercial on TV trying to convince you that you are a spiritual being. You're not going to see that. You're going to have to look for reincarnation. We as a spiritist, we believe in reincarnation. Most of us are convinced that the reincarnation is a fact. But this guy here, Ian Stevenson, was not a spiritist. Not. Was just a guy. Was a psychiatrist who worked for the University of Virginia School of Medicine for 50 years. He was the chair of the Department of Psychiatry from 1957 to 1967. The Council Professor of Psychiatry from 1967 to 2001, and a Research Professor of Psychiatry from 2002 until his death. He became internationally recognized for his research into reincarnation by discovering evidence suggesting that memories and physical injuries can be transferred from one life to another. Okay? He traveled extensively over a period of 40 years, investigating 3,000 cases of children around the world who recall having past life. His meticulous research presented evidence that such children had unusual ability, illness, phobia, which could not be explained by the environment or heredity. Okay. So, it's not, if it's not just something that we have as a belief that reincarnation does happens. Now, if you convince yourself that you are here on another journey, that you've been here before, that you have something to do here, okay? It's got to be a life-changing right there. Because if you believe in that and you have the facts and you went and you researched, because let me tell you guys, unfortunately, it's not going to only help if you hear me talking about this. You have to be interested on this stuff. Because you already created so many habits. You are already so used to live your life the way you've been living for so many years. And the brainwashed. We've been brainwashed to this material world. They saw this idea and we bought it. We bought it. So badly. So badly. That we are capable to waste 80, 90, 100 years searching for things that it's not going to bring us anything, spiritually speaking. Okay? But this is out there. It only takes one Google reincarnation research. It's out there. This guy has books. You want to see how he did? Did he interview 3,000 cases? It's there for you to read. It's there. So by reading, you're convincing yourself. And this is one of the main things in Spiritism. Reincarnation is one of the main things. Okay? But it has to be a thing that transforms you. Allan Kardec would say that. He says exactly like this. He would say, if you believe in a spiritual world and that does not make you a better person, you are wasting your time. It doesn't do anything for Spiritism, for nothing. Because how can we live our lives just like our neighbors do? Or our friends from work? They don't know any of this. They are not interested. We are. And how can we live our lives like they're doing it? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. If you are really, truly convinced that reincarnation is true, you're going to do everything that you can to make this life worth of living. And I'm not talking about vacation. I'm talking about the main reason. Why do we have reincarnation? It's an evolution process. It's a progress of the soul. And each time you come here, you're supposed to develop virtues. You're supposed to develop morals. We're supposed to see and learn and see each other as human brothers, sisters. Not so much more like, what is the color, what is the country that you come from? People that don't believe in reincarnation, it might think like this, not us. Because guess what? Who knows where we're going to arrive next? We can say no to refugees and we can be born in Syria. Right? So why we're not going to work to make the whole world a better place? Because it's not about walls and countries anymore. To us, to the ones that really are in tune and are 100% sure that this is for real. And it is for real. It is, because you can read it on ancients' book about reincarnation. You can read it on a spirit's book and every single André Luiz books, but you can also see scientists that already proven that this exists. Now, would anybody here make money with this value and say to you, go ahead, and this is your life? They're not going to be interested in selling you this idea because it doesn't make money. It doesn't. So I see people that actually do this. They come here and they do believe in reincarnation. They do believe in near-death experience. They do believe in whatever it is that they do, but it doesn't change their belief system. And what could be a better way of living? And then we have prayer. Why is it important to find out about researches at this subject? Because this is a proof that we belong to a wonderful system, that it's not only this body. There was a few research on prayer, and the results are unbelievable. Okay? The result of this review shows, okay, this article, it's about 62 prayer research that was sent to them. They used 12 of them. The other ones, they thought it did not met the criteria that they're looking for. But they did took it 12. And most of them was done in the United States. Some was done in UK, and one in Australia. And the result of this review showed that the use of prayer, whenever petition or intercessory, in clinical practice may promote different positive effects, such as the reduction of anxiety and depression, a higher implantation rate for successful and multiple pregnancy, better physical functioning, fewer deaths in patients with bloodstream infection, fewer days in the coronary care unit for patients with cardiac problems. Consider that prayer is a non-pharmacological intervention. These results arise questions regarding health economy and those more research is needed in order to identify the common outcomes when implementing this kind of intervention in regard of substantially of the healthcare system. Thinking about them, let me hire a group of people to pray for this person. This is how the system works. So if this really is helping the patient, maybe we should buy someone and they come in the hospital and pray for them. So you lose out the meaning of prayer. It's not about this. And the beautiful thing about this research is whoever they use it to pray, some use some ritual, others didn't use ritual, and the results didn't change. As long as somebody was praying for the person, you could see the results. And this type of research raised a huge question. Are we praying? Are we using this wonderful tool for ourselves and to help others? If you see a family member going through a hard time, do you actually go in, sit down? Because those prayers were done, most of the study were done twice a day, in the morning and at night. Most of them. Do you go in and you actually pray for that family member? Or pray for you? Do you do that? Okay? And we are supposed to be the expert on this. Won't we? Right? It's again, we are selling ourselves to the other system that we say that we don't believe. But our actions tell us the contrary, unfortunately. Okay? But the implementation of prayer as an intervention should be based in training. They want to regulate prayer, okay? As this includes dealing with patients' intimacy, values, and beliefs. So the health system already knows how important is prayer, but there is nothing involved that, that they can do it. And they're studying ways of doing it. But it's not the way that we actually think that will be the ideal system, because we have to create that system in us first. Everything that we want for the world, we have to create it in us first. We love peace. We talk about peace all the time. No more wars, etc., etc., etc. And sometimes we are not looking for the peace that we needed within ourselves. So, are you ready? Are you ready for this revolution? Are you ready to transform yourself? Are you ready to do things that you never thought it was possible before? Are you ready to create this new and wonderful system? Are you ready to go in and give the first steps towards this spiritual journey? We just need to convince ourselves that we are a spirit, not this body only. So much more than that. If you are ready, what about we can all do this together? Building a community, helping each other, learning to forgive, to self-forgive, to be kind. We don't have to do this alone, not anymore. So I wish you all a wonderful 2020. And I really wish that this year we will close the cycle, start a new one, and become every day more concerned of the spiritual stuff than the material stuff. We can still live material life. There is nothing wrong with that. But we cannot just think that this is the only thing that matters, because it's not. Thank you so much.
Anybody has any questions? No? Okay. So we're going to go to the reminders now, and then we'll go into the healing after. Oh, I want to tell, it's not going to be here, but next year, January 4th to the 11th, we're going to have a, for you guys, on Wednesday, it's going to be on the 8th, January 8th. We're going to have this guy here from Brazil. He's a medium, and he's going to be doing some psychograph letters for the public here. It's for the Americans. If you never heard about that, he'll come in and he'll, write letters from the loved ones that already passed. Okay, if you have anybody, they already passed, and that's what he does. And we're going to be announcing starting the new year, but not outside, because we don't want hundreds of people here, because it takes a long time, the letters. And come in prepared, because the event will take around 2 to 3 hours. Okay? If you are interested in. Okay? It's serious, and it takes Take that and magnetize the water